Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Lawson Fitchco State. The Raiders have won the toss and have elected to defer until the second half. The Vikings will receive the opening kickoff. Tonight's officials, the referee, Steve Vance, the umpire, Danny Wilson, the linesman, Steve Sheets, the line judge, Brad King, and
ladies and gentlemen, here we go.
Kelly on the kickoff return for the Vikings. There is a flag on the play. Sweeney on the carry for the Vikings. Cody Powers, Jim Bob Willis on the stop for the Raiders. Gain of 2. Aaron Sweeney on the carry for the Vikings. Justin Campbell on the stop for the Raiders. 3rd down, 6. From the Raider 21-yard line. Aaron Sweeney on the carry for the Vikings. Lorenzo Miles on the stop for the Raiders. 1st and 10 for the Vikings from the Raider 15-yard line. Giovanni Hamler on the carry for the Vikings. Tackle. Aaron Sweeney on the carry for the Vikings. Jeremy Coleman on the stop for the Raiders. Vikings, there is a flag on the play.
A holding penalty.
Touchdown Vikings, a touchdown pass from Brad Robbins to Brett Bullock. And the point after touchdown kick by Brett Bullock is good to score. The Powell Valley Vikings 7, the John I. Burton Raiders 0.
The old Vikings had played that first, ladies and gentlemen.
Raiders Justin Campbell. Lorenzo Miles on the kickoff return for the Raiders. The Raiders will have 1st and 10 from the 28-yard line. Jeremy Coleman on the carry for the Raiders. Coleman on the carry for the Raiders. Cody Pleasant with the initial stop for the Vikings. Loss of 2 on the play. 2nd down 12.
Greetings.
From the Viking 48-yard line.
Greetings.
Dustin Blair with the 48-yard touchdown run.
Ruh-roh, it's going to be a game, ladies and gentlemen. I got that feeling.
The point after touchdown kick is no good. The score, the Powell Valley Vikings 7, the John I. Burton Raiders 6. Barry Moore on the kickoff return for the Vikings. Colby's Aaron Sweeney on the carry for the Vikings. Jim Bob Willis with the initial stop for the Raiders. On the play, recovered by the Vikings, Adam Sweeney. And the punt is fair caught by Justin Campbell. The Raiders will have 1st and 10. Jim Bob Willis on the carry for the Raiders. Cody Pleasant, Brett Bullock on the stop for the Vikings. Dustin Blair on the carry for the Raiders. Brett Bullock. Sean Clifton on the stop. The pass from David. And the punt by Colby Sturgill was blown dead on the 10-yard line when the Vikings will take over 1st and 10. Pass interference. Sweeney on the carry for the Vikings. Lorenzo Miles on the tackle for the Raiders. Flags on the play.
Holding against the Vikings, ladies and gentlemen.
Aaron Kelly on the carry for the Vikings. Jeremy Coleman on the stop for the Raiders. Gain of 3 on the play. Yvonne Hamler on the carry for the Vikings. Jim Bob Willis and Colby Sturgill on the tackle for the Raiders. And the pass. Dustin Blair on the carry for the punt by Colby Sturgill is blown dead on the 21-yard line. And the pass by Brad Robbins is broken up by the Raiders' Lorenzo Miles.
Hey, Brad, we're in the blue.
Adam Sweeney on the carry for the Vikings. Jeremy Coleman on the tackle for the Raiders. 1st and 10 for the Vikings from the Raider 40-yard line. Tevon Hamler on the carry for the Vikings. Michael Williams. Aaron Kelly on the carry for the Vikings. Hunters. Aaron Kelly on the carry for the Vikings. Jeremy Coleman on the stop for the Raiders. Loss of 2 on the play. 4th down 10 for the Vikings from the Raider 40-yard line. Dustin Blair on the carry for the Raiders. The pass complete from David Stacy to Colby Sturgill, tackled by a host of Viking defenders. Dustin Blair on the carry for the Raiders. Shot. The pass is incomplete. 2nd down 10 for the Raiders from the 25-yard line. David Stacy sacked on the play. Flags on the play. Touchdown, Powell Valley Vikings. Cody Zirkle with the interception. And the point after touchdown kick is no good. The score, the Powell Valley Vikings 13, the John I. Burton Raiders 6. pass complete from David Stacy to Nathan Brooks. Jeremy Coleman on the carry for the Raiders. Cody Zirkle on the stop for the Vikings. 1st and 10 for the Raiders from the Viking 44-yard. Fumble on the play. And the Raiders have recovered. And the screen pass from David Stacy to Justin Campbell is complete. The Raiders will have 1st and 10 at the Viking 20-yard line. Jeremy Coleman on the carry for the Raiders. Gain of 5 on the play. 2nd down 5 for the Raiders from the Viking 15. Jeremy Coleman on the carry for the Raiders. Brett Bullock with the initial stop for the Vikings. Timeout Raiders. Pass from David Stacy to Nathan Brooks, incomplete. 4th down, 11 for the Raiders from the Vikings. David Stacy sacked on the play by Kevon Hamler. The Vikings have 1st and 10 on the 4th. Adam Sweeney on the carry for the Vikings. Colby Sturgill on the tackle for the Raiders. 1st and 10 for the Vikings from the Raider 35-yard line. And the pass. And the pass from Brand Robbins to Jerry Moore, broken up by the Raiders' Lorenzo Miles. that's the end of the first.
We're about to start the second half, ladies and gentlemen. The Vikings over there warming up.
Jeremy Coleman on the carry for the Raiders. The pass complete from David Stacy to Justin Campbell. Stephen Isbell with the tackle for the Vikings. Jeremy Coleman on the carry for the Raiders. Patrick McKinney on the tackle for the Vikings. Gain of 6 on the play. Second down 4 from the 44-yard line. Dustin Blair on the carry for the Raiders. Cody Pleasant. Jeremy Coleman on the carry for the Raiders. Tackled by a host of Vikings. Flags on the play. Adam Sweeney on the carry for the Vikings. Nathan Brooks on the tackle for the Raiders. 1st and 10 for the Vikings from the Raiders. Adam Sweeney on the carry for the Vikings. Cody Crowder on the tackle with Cody Powers. Sweeney on the carry. Colby Sturgill on the tackle. Third down 4 for the Vikings.
There you go.
Devon Hamler on the carry for the Vikings. Hunter Scott on the stop for the Raiders. 1st and 10 for the Vikings from the Raiders' 16-yard line. Adam Sweeney on the carry for the Vikings, tackled by a hook. Touchdown Vikings. Brad Robbins' pass complete to Jared Jackson for a 15-yard touchdown. The point after touchdown pass is good. The score, the Powell Valley Vikings 21, the John I. Burton Raiders 6. Coleman on the kickoff return for the Raiders.
He almost was off to the races, ladies and gentlemen.
Dustin Blair on the carry for the Raiders. Pass complete from Stacy to Campbell, the handoff to Blair. And the pass from David Stacy to Justin Campbell is incomplete. That'll be 4th down 28 for the Raiders. And the punt is blocked. The Vikings will have 1st and 10 on the Raider 25-yard line. Robbins on the quarterback keeper for the Vikings. Cody Crowder on. Devon Hammer on the carry for the Vikings. First and 10 from the 4-yard line, 3-yard line. Dustin Blair on the carry for the Raiders, stopped by the Viking defensive front. That's the end of the third quarter. The score, the Powell Valley Vikings 21, the John I. Burton Raiders 6. Pass complete from David Stacy to Colby Sturgill. First and 10 for the Raiders from the 15-yard line. Jeremy Coleman on the carry for the Raiders. Pass from David Stacy to Justin Campbell is incomplete.
You know they're going at it. That's a good kick right there.
And the punt by Colby Sturgill is blown dead on the Raiders. Brad Robbins on the option keeper, tackled by the Raiders' Jeremy Coleman. Flags on the play. False start on the Vikings is the call. Second down, 7. Brett Bullock is good. The score, the Powell Valley Vikings 28, John I. Burton Raiders 6. Nathan Brooks on the kickoff return for the Raiders. The pass complete from David Stacy to Kobe Sturgill. Andrew Botts on the tackle for the Vikings. The pass complete from David Stacy to Kobe Sturgill. 1st and 10 for the Raiders from the 44. From David Stacy to Justin Campbell is incomplete. 2nd down 10. Flags on the play. 49-yard line. And the pass attempt from David Stacy to Justin Campbell broken up by the Vikings' Stephen Isbeth. The pass from David Stacy to Justin Campbell incomplete. 4th down 5 for the Raiders from the 49. The pass complete from David Stacy to Nathan Brooks. And the pass from David Stacy to Justin Campbell is incomplete. Second down. Dustin Blair on the carry for the Raiders. Pass complete from David Stacy to Nathan Brooks. Pass attempt from David Stacy to Justin Campbell, incomplete. Third down 10 from the Viking 16. Pass incomplete, flag on the play. And the pass. Aaron Kelly on the carry for the Vikings. Jeremy Coleman on the tackle for the Raiders. Kelly on the carry for the Vikings. Nathan Brooks on the stop for the Raiders. Flags on the play. Holding on the Vikings is the call. Second down 20 from the 10-yard line. Aaron Kelly on the carry. Aaron Kelly on the run for the Vikings. Jonathan Stidham on the stop for the Raiders. Flag on the play. Hitting below the waist on the defense is the call. Third down 5 for the... Aaron Kelly on the carry for the Vikings.
Putting in some fresh meat, ladies and gentlemen. Some young, fresh meat.
Kelly on the carry for the Vikings. Lorenzo Miles, Lee Robinson on the stop for the Raiders. The flag on the play. Preliminary signal is holding on the Vikings. Aaron Kelly on the carry for the Vikings. Jim Bob Willis and Josh Miller on the tackle for the Raiders. No gain on the play. Second down 10 from the 30-yard. Aaron Kelly on the carry for the Vikings. Josh Miller on the stop for the Raiders. The John I. Burton Raiders 6.